The Psychological Reconstruction of Iran. Article 12. The Psychological Healing of a Nation, a roadmap for Iran after the Islamic Republic. In the previous 11 articles, I argued that rebuilding Iran requires far more than replacing a government, drafting a new constitution, or holding free elections. Political change alone cannot guarantee freedom or democracy. Iran's future will ultimately depend on how its people think, feel, and relate to one another. A society still shaped by fear, obedience, exclusion, hatred, distrust, and personality cults can easily reproduce authoritarianism even under better laws. Political recovery begins with psychological recovery. All freedoms are interconnected. Freedom of expression, thought, the press, association, lifestyle, religion, equal rights for women and men, minority rights, and the right to challenge power form a single whole. Weakening one weakens them all. Just as no organ can remain healthy if the body is sick, society cannot achieve psychological well-being without protecting fundamental human rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is therefore more than a legal or political document. It is a roadmap for collective mental health. Every article reflects a basic human need: security, freedom, justice, equality, dignity, belonging, and hope. Respecting human rights does more than protect citizens. It nurtures psychologically healthy, responsible, and independent individuals while investing in future generations. Democracy is not merely elections or party competition. Long before it appears in constitutions, it must exist in people's character. Tolerance, intellectual humility, respect for human dignity, dialogue, responsibility, flexibility, and empathy are the psychological foundations of democratic life. Without them, democratic institutions remain vulnerable to authoritarian relapse. The psychological reconstruction of Iran is not the responsibility of a future government alone. No law can create trust, empathy, or civic responsibility. These qualities must be cultivated by families, schools, universities, media, civil society, and every citizen. Iran's future will be shaped not only in parliament, but in the way we treat one another every day. A free Iran must rest on equal dignity for all citizens. No one should be treated as second class because of gender, ethnicity, language, religion, belief, or lifestyle. Diversity must be recognized as a national strength, tolerance must replace hatred, and shared responsibility must replace indifference. Perhaps the most important lesson is that democracy cannot wait until after political transition. A society that behaves undemocratically today will struggle to preserve democracy tomorrow. Respect for disagreement, constructive criticism, transparency, accountability, and civil dialogue must become daily habits. One of the greatest dangers facing any freedom movement is reproducing authoritarian patterns from within. Sometimes, knowingly or not, individuals rely on emotional mobilization, personality-centered leadership, organizational monopolies, exclusion of dissent, or opaque decision-making, thereby recreating the very culture the movement seeks to escape. Freedom can never justify undemocratic methods. When questioning gives way to obedience and criticism becomes taboo, authoritarianism begins to return. Citizens therefore carry a responsibility beyond participation. They must continuously evaluate the conduct of activists, organizers, and influential figures. Support for any political movement or leader should never excuse undemocratic behavior by those acting in its name. The standard must always be human dignity, equality, transparency, accountability, tolerance, and respect for diversity, not emotional slogans or personal loyalty. Iran needs to leave behind both political sanctification and the mentality of subjects rather than citizens. No individual, party, or ideology should stand above criticism. Free citizens think independently, ask difficult questions, accept responsibility, and remain equal before the law. Iran's psychological reconstruction will not happen overnight. It may take a generation, but every step will strengthen the country's future. Lasting hope does not lie in waiting for a savior. It lies in transforming our culture and everyday behavior. A free Iran will endure only when freedom, human rights, dignity, diversity, tolerance, and shared responsibility become deeply embedded not only in its laws, but in the minds and conduct of its people. Mahmoud Ashkanian, neuropsychiatrist, Ph.D.